This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is the Binghamton Traffic Board. Um, right now, we are lacking a voting quorum, but we can still get started with the presentations. First is the Front Street Residences LLC, Wallaston Corp. We have a copy of the proposed plan, which will be headed to the Planning Commission tomorrow. And I don't know if we can unmute everyone, if Sarah or anyone from the Wallaston Group wants to kind of give a quick overview.
Hi, this is Sarah Campbell, and Sal's also on the phone with us.
Good morning.
In terms of the general overview, I don't really want to waste your time, but obviously Elizabeth Street will be acquired by the developer so that will not be a public street anymore. The site will be secure to the extent that there will be an access in that location for the parking facilities. There's what may look like sort of an upside down U on the corner of Girard and Front. We don't really know who the tenant will be in commercial space, but are hopeful that something like a bank or just some maybe drive-through opportunity, especially given sort of what's going on right now. But don't know yet. That's why that's shown sort of there up against the building. Sal, did you want to add anything else?
No, thank you, Sarah. You covered very well. We have on the line James Gentel from Fagan Engineering, and we also have on the line Brett Goronsky from SWBR Architect. And we would like, given this environment where drive-through businesses are preferred post-pandemic, we would. That's why we proposed that drive-through, and we would like that to be permitted. We'll very much appreciate it. That's all I have to say. Yeah.
Okay. From a traffic flow standpoint on the drive-through, we obviously have, coming in is no problem. But when you're exiting, you're, obviously crossing the 2 lanes of traffic. I don't imagine that Girard is a typically busy intersection. I just didn't know if any of the engineers on the call or Sal, you could speak to that. I mean, do we see that as a potential conflict point?
Okay, I don't see it, but I would like James to elaborate on it. James, if you could please speak on that.
Sure. So first off, the drive-through has about, so we actually don't know what the actual use is going to be for the drive-through commercial. It could be a bank, it could be a pharmacy or some sort of coffee shop. The design of the drive-through allows for up to 8 vehicles to be stacked inside the drive-through lane. I think your requirement is 5, and that's without blocking the sidewalk. So you could have up to 7 up to the window, and then 1 vehicle at the stop bar as the exiting onto Girard Avenue. Girard Avenue is actually pretty low volume from what we've seen. We haven't done any particular traffic counts, and I don't see any available from the DOT website. But that is an actual pretty low volume street from that point of view. So we don't see that many conflicts from there. I'm just actually pulling up the CAD file right now. So if you have any questions on the geometry or such, I can answer that as well.
Okay.
And then we did not do a trip generation rate or anything on the use just because the commercial use is undetermined at this time. We did do trip generation rates for the residential side, and roughly during your PM peak hour, you're looking at a 50-50 split of a total of around 100 cars vehicle trips. So up to 50 entering and 50 exiting for the full development of the residential side.
I'd like to add, this is Sal, I'd like to add that I spent considerable time at the site. I've been there at least 5 times. And Girard Avenue is very light. I've rarely seen any cars on it.
So will there be pedestrian access or entry from Front Street to the development?
Yes.
Yes.
So for people who live in Building A, they'll be able to access from Front Street.
Yes.
So if you
we
have-
have 2 doors
if you
on
have-
Front Street. Yeah.
If you have
Go
the
ahead, please, James.
updated set of drawings, there's an actual door that's right adjacent to the drive-through use on the Front Street side, so that you would have direct access for that commercial bay pedestrian-wise from Front Street. And if you notice on the drawings, we also show a patio area and such. That would all be interconnected so that you would have direct access to that use. I think that's if any commercial user is going to want to have full access around there and full visibility from that corner spot. I could actually see a bank really liking that corner piece to be, an accessible area for both the people that are living in the buildings as well as the neighboring public.
Yeah. And I would like to add that we have doors. We have 2 doors for on Front Street, and then we have multiple other doors on for all the commercial spaces. And there's front and back access, so people from the back parking lot can access the commercial space and the apartments, and people walking on Front Street can access the apartments and the commercial spaces. So, and then not only can they access Building A, but they can also go up to Building B from Front Street. So we have provided full through access to the whole site and the parking.
And actually, and then that's one other thing we should bring up is that parking area that's directly adjacent to Building A is mainly for the commercial users. The residential users are going to use the upper parking lot that's north of Building B.
And just for the record, John Paddock has joined us on the traffic board, as well as Phil Strawn. Phil, can you hear us on the line? Phil, are you on the call?
Who are you calling for? Bill Lane?
Okay. Before we vote, is there any other questions? All right, I just want to make note, and for the purposes of the traffic board, seeing the commercial frontage on Front Street flush with the sidewalk is something that the city encourages as part of our comprehensive plan, and it is shown in this this drawing that retaining the integrity of commercial spaces that are near the street, that are easy for pedestrians to access, is a very positive thing. We could have very easily seen a proposal where there's a big parking lot in front, but that's not the case. I think this is a very positive, a positive project for that part of the city. So essentially, we're going to be approving of curb openings on Girard Ave in association with this project, which includes both housing and commercial space for a total of 141 bedrooms. Do I have a motion to approve the development for traffic board purposes? Bill makes a motion. John seconds. All in favor? Aye. Phil, was that an aye on the phone?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, aye.
Okay. Sarah, Saul,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
Have a good day.
thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got a couple of folks leaving the call. I think we've got some folks from Pennsylvania Avenue that wanted to address the board.
Yes, my name is Heather Melanda.
Go ahead.
I live at 221 or 223 Pennsylvania Avenue. And we just moved here last fall. I'm originally a Binghamtonian, but we moved. And I never realized that Pennsylvania Avenue was the highway that it actually is. Even though there are 30-mile-an-hour speed limit signs, you can't see them and they're not enforced. We have called for the police to come up and do some ticketing or observations, and it's fallen kind of on deaf ears. So I have resorted with my neighbors to the sheriff's department, and they have come up and they did do somewhat of a traffic study that I included in the paperwork that I submitted. I don't know if everybody has a copy of that or not. But with the traffic study that the sheriff did do, there are approximately 54,000 vehicles that pass by our section of Upper Penn Ave in 2 weeks. That's a lot of traffic. That's not counting the buses, the tractor trailers, the motorcycles. I mean, they couldn't be specific as to what vehicles they want. The highest speed limit was 68 miles an hour. So it's getting way out of control, and it's getting a little bit more than just police coming up and monitoring the speeding on the road. It's also, we have tractor trailers going down the road. Can you tell me what Pennsylvania Ave is the weight limit on this section of road?
You repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Is there anybody on the board that can give me an idea of what the weight limit is for this section of road?
I'm not sure. At that point, it goes from a county road in the town of Binghamton to a city road. So I would imagine
Right.
It's quite a bit, but
You would imagine it's quite what?
I would imagine it's quite a bit. I mean, I wouldn't anticipate that there'd be any weight restrictions other than kind of extreme situations, but I don't know the exact answer to that.
Okay. We have tractor trailers, log trucks, and they range from, a lot, like, a lot, from like 17 tons to like 44 tons coming down the street. I don't know if that's acceptable by the city for the road. It can't be good for the road. We also have mailboxes across the street. And if you read the report, you can see that the youngest person on this section of road is myself. And I'm not going to say who's the oldest, but there's an older person that is 93. And we have to go across this road to get our mail. And these people on this road, when they're driving, don't care about people trying to cross the road for their mail. It's like progress, but worse. This is a residential area from everything I can find out and read. And I don't know why the heavy traffic is coming down this road the way it is, and it's not being monitored. I mean, I'm certainly sure none of you would want the traffic coming down this road in front of your house 24/7. It's just not fair. And it's not fair to be denied the police to come up and monitor it. And so I'm going to turn this over to William Lane.
Yeah, Bill Lane there. I live at 225 Pennsylvania Avenue. I bought that residence in 1988. And the traffic has increased in numbers dramatically. The amount of truck traffic has increased at least 5 to 6 times what it used to be. The vehicles using that road now are all kinds of construction, heavy trucks, trucks loaded with aggregate, trucks loaded with food, etc. I don't quite understand why Pennsylvania Avenue is being used for that purpose, because if you travel south on Pennsylvania, it will take you to areas of Pennsylvania where there is no real businesses up there. There are a few mining areas. It would take you over to Route 26. It could take you to Route 81, but for any type of truck usage, that would be kind of a illogical way to travel. If you wanted to come from 26 come up over there and come down Pennsylvania Avenue, and the same thing would happen if you got off at the Montrose exit and jumped onto those back roads and tried to come down. But the type of truck traffic is just unbelievable there. Should try to determine where are all these trucks coming from. The other issue here, we tried to talk to the mayor about this over the past 4 or 5 years, several times. He always said, well, something could be done, something could be done. Well, let me tell you what, nothing has been done. Not a thing. On the coming in from the south into Binghamton, you can hardly see the city of Binghamton limit signs. They're overgrown with shrubs coming down the street. There is one sign reading in that shows that there are residential areas off to the right. Doesn't make any difference with the traffic coming down the road. I don't think I've seen any car going under 45 or 50 miles an hour coming down the hill, going up the hill. The roadway design, I question whether it's designed to accept the type of truck traffic that is being utilized by these roads. In fact, there is one section from Old Pennsylvania Avenue. There are 2 entrances, one just opposite Gilman Drive and the other about 300 yards below that, where the pavement is actually pumping water because of the type of truck traffic going into Binghamton and out of Binghamton. And as Heather said, in a 2-week period, there were over 27,000 vehicles registered by the Sheriff's Department. And we were told that the traffic going out of the city, going south, was probably double that. So that would be 55,000 vehicles in that 2-week period of time. Exiting driveways, 225, 223, 221, and 219, is so dangerous that when I pull out, I make sure there are no cars coming from the south down the hill into the city. By the time I get out onto the road, I have a car going 45 or 50 right on my tail end. So it's a dangerous situation. The other thing is, I think it was 3 years ago or 4 years ago, the city repaved a large section of Pennsylvania Avenue. They sloped the road from the west to the east, causing a severe runoff onto the aforementioned properties on Pennsylvania Avenue. In fact, Dr. Gilroy, whose residence Heather, the Milanas purchased, had water in his basement as a result of the runoff. So what did the city do? About the only thing they could do, they came and put about a 6-inch high curb from 225 down to 219, so that now when we either exit or return to our residences, we have to slow down to a speed of 3 to 5 miles per hour to get over that 6-inch high barrier. So the traffic on Pennsylvania Avenue on the west side, leaving Binghamton south, there should be additional traffic speed limit signs put up. On the east side, at the entrance to Binghamton, I think the city should give consideration to some type of electrified warning system. Speed limit is now 30 miles per hour. I think that the city should enforce more traffic control on the roadway.
Okay, Mr. Lane, is there anyone else on the call?
I am Joanne Ryan.
Okay.
Heather, Heather, are you there?
Yeah,
Heather?
I'm still here. I'm still here, Bill.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right.
Is it my turn?
Okay.
You know, it's been very frustrating that the city has really not taken any action on the request of the residences, and especially myself, with respect to the traffic control. And I know Heather, since they moved in last August, has taken it upon herself to put together all this information and submit it to the city for their consideration, and hopefully something fruitful will be done to control the traffic and actually protect not only the residents of Pennsylvania Avenue, but other persons who travel back and forth on that road.
Okay. Well, a couple different things that I think are next steps as it relates to the traffic board. We've got members of the Public Works Department, Police Department, and here's what I want to do before next meeting. Number one, we want to look at what the weight limit signage is, and is it properly marked, and is it marked for what the traffic that we're kind of seeing? Number two, I want to have the engineers look at the grading of the road. I remember being out there a few years ago when they paved Pennsylvania Ave. So I'm aware of that project. Number three, looking at from BMTS what other traffic count information we can get. If in the last several years, last 10 years, this street has changed in terms of what types of traffic or what volumes of traffic are on it, we want to make sure that we're responsive to it from a regulatory standpoint. And then number 4, just working with the Binghamton Police Department on, enforcement in that area, making sure our traffic division is aware of that better. I know that it's been a concern. I apologize. It continues to be a concern, but we hear you, and this will be an item on our agenda for next meeting with some follow-up. I know that we've got contact information for Heather up in the mayor's office. We can use her as a central point of contact, and we'll have some actionable items at next month's meeting, which will be in July. Does that sound acceptable?
Yes, it does. Now, could I add one other issue? These, especially the construction and heavy transport vehicles, when they come into Binghamton, they get to the intersection of Vestal Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue, and then these vehicles, in order to get to 34, are using Vestal Avenue as their access to 434. Now, that's kind of ridiculous. They're going by the school, past the other residences, to the intersection of Vestal Avenue and 4. I think that's a misuse of those roads also, because I'm positive they're not designed to accept the kind of loads those larger vehicles are on the pavement.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think Joanne wanted to say something.
Yes, I just
Sure.
wanted to say that I've only lived here for 2.5 years, and in that time, the traffic has drastically increased. And if there's no control over the weight of the cars and trucks that go up and down this road, then the speed limit must be adhered to. There must be a way to control the speed of these vehicles, because it is extremely dangerous. I would hate to have someone get hit by one of these cars or trucks or motorcycles, just because the city can't control the speed. If nothing else can be controlled, the speed is key to keeping the roads safe. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you very much, all 3 of you, for calling in. And
Can I say one other thing?
Just one quick last point. Thank you.
Yeah. I just wanted to let you know, there are no weight limit signs on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Noted.
So when a trucker comes down Pennsylvania Avenue, there's nothing that says no trucks or a weight limit.
Okay.
And that's all I have to say.
All right, so like I said, we will have this as an agenda item at our July meeting based on the input both from the calls today and then some other calls we've gotten on Pennsylvania Avenue. We have some action items, and we will keep, first of all, you folks updated, but also your neighbors as well, as what next steps look like.
This is the neighborhood that you got. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your listening to us. Right.
Thank you.
Right.
All right. Our last
Thank
item
you.
today, folks, is I think Phil left us, but Binghamton Housing Authority, 36 Exchange Street. This is just their curb opening, and it's not on Lyle Ave, but it's on Carroll Street right out here. Or is that Carroll? Not Carroll. Isabel Street, excuse me. This is to allow them to basically just have a dumpster. It's directly across from the YMCA's area. There's no parking on that part of the street.
Probably. So you want to make that bigger?
No, this is across the street.
Where the Y is, you open to the Y.
Yeah, but across the street from that, there is a concrete pad that was part of their development where they've moved a garage and everything. They want to put in a curb cut for basically a dumpster access. Because Ray isn't here, I have no problem. I mean, I know that this is a point of interest for them, but you know, we can take another look at it.
Probably should, because don't they have an access to get in there, like a parking lot? They want to put another curb cut right next to the parking lot?
No, this is on Isabel. There's no way, this is further up towards Susquehanna.
Right.
So it's around the corner and then right on the right, there's a, yeah.
I'm not sure where it is, but you know, if you're, I've pulled it here.
Let me see here. It's much further down. It's right here.
Yeah.
That's the new-
It's gonna cause problems because that gets backed up there because people turning and coming out of the Y. And people park there all the time.
Yeah. Their thought it's just for a dumpster, basically like right here. It's just the dumpster access. This isn't, they're not opening it back up.
Dumpster, parking lot, outside, they have it all right there.
I think that they've moved some different things because of the utilities project.
You want that, here's a question, do you want that slightly out there on the
Right.
street there, you know, with people dumping into there, just the unsightly, I'm wondering.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's a great spot, personally. The zoning requires a dumpster pad. The zoning requires a dumpster pad and enclosure, so.
Yeah.
That's what they decided they have to put a truck, because you back that truck in there, it's gonna block that traffic for as long as it
And I
takes.
think you'll have everybody else.
Well, one of the other things that I asked is that what can they do a combined thing over here? They said no.
I'd take a look at it, but I think it's gonna cause a lot of congestion when they come. Just to make, they can only use it 6 AM or 7 AM or something. Because who picks up the garbage? City?
I don't think they don't, they do a private hauler.
Give it a certain time that they only can use it, because you come down there at like 8 o'clock or even
Yeah.
like at 7, people are going into the Y.
It's a front-loaded dumpster, so basically all they would do is just pull in, unload it, and back out.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, and I know they need it, but. I guess we'll wait till we're ready anyways.
Yeah, what you do is we can table this. And we'll make sure we get Ray to do the final sign off.
So, you know, the other problem we have with that, housing authority, all those people park there. They keep saying they gotta park there because that's how they gotta bring stuff in.
Yep.
It's, I mean, I don't know if you've gone out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Go out there every day, yeah.
so, I mean, it's just, I got up there much more, but whatever.
All right, we can table it, and if we need to have a special meeting, we'll have one, but I have no problem with that. Motion to adjourn? Motion, Bill, second, John, all in favor?
Just a question.
Aye.
This Pennsylvania is all outside the city.